Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my most favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. We're continuing our run through mid 80s Captain America. Particularly, we're heading into the Captain America No More arc where John Walker, who is a super patriot, becomes the new Captain America, and Steve Rogers just ends up being the captain. I do have a Captain America playlist. I have covered quite a few of the issues that lead up to this, as well as some of the older ones. I have John Byrne's entire run in there, and I also have John Cassidy's entire run in there as well. So check it out. Like I said, I have a Captain America playlist. So, Captain America 330 from 1987. We got this great cover by Mike Zeck, and we got Demolition Man here, who has a Daredevil's old costume meets Wolverine mask. So it looks kind of cool because this looks like red, but this is actually like a brown here, and you can even see it. So Captain America's shield here and this glove are red, but then when you get down here, they're brown. So this, by the way, are the same plates. It's just that and when you use the digital version, it takes it onto the basically, this is what a comic book would have looked like in the 80s if they would have been using glossy paper, but they used newsprint, which I sort of miss. So Night Shift here, and we're picking up right where we left off. We got this mutate here grabbing the shield, and we got our credits here. Mark Gruenwald, Tom Morgan, and Sam De La Rosa. So for the most part, we've been seeing Paul Neary be the penciler here of Captain America since I started on this road to Captain America No More with issue 321. And he had John Beatty as his inker. So this is the first issue where we have a new penciler here. So, and you can see here Captain America is being basically drowned by these mutates here. Jim Shooter is still editor in chief during this time, but it won't last very long. He is towards the way out. Um, there's many videos out there on the Jim Shooter era, so I won't bore you to it. But Captain America, uh, here it's kind of weird. So he looks like he's pushing him off, um, but at the same time, it looks like he's falling back. So, all right. For a moment there, I thought I'd never get the leverage I needed. There's an art to fighting hordes of mentally disadvantaged brutes. Haven't had any practice since I liberated Castle Zemo a while back. It says here, Captain America 276, which I have not covered. So, wish I didn't have to play so rough, but these boys are so strong since the strength augmentation process they underwent didn't take right. And that was all explained in the previous issues. These poor souls are easily 10 times stronger than me. Unfortunate for them, you need intelligence to fight well. So, and that is true. Strength alone doesn't really do anything. So, the power broker is going to have a lot to answer for, crippling these men like this and then abandoning them, he thinks. I miss the thought bubbles. You don't see thought bubbles very more on modern comic books. You actually don't see a lot of art like this. And it isn't that it's a little crude or whatever, but a lot of blacks. Now everything is done mostly with color, and it's the color that is expected to carry the issues. You hardly ever see ink slinging anymore. So just remember, Dr. Malice was with me. Did the augments get him, or did he manage to escape? And then Dr. Malice hears, "Oh dear, I knew we should have destroyed these failures instead of letting them loose. They may have allowed me to escape from that horrid Captain America," he says. "But if even one of them were to recognize me as one of the scientists responsible for their condition, I'd be as good as dead," he continues. "Oh, please let this passage lead out of this maze." And so he hears this a woo here, and he's like, What was that?" And so you can see him running here, just down the sewers here. "The failed augments have never made sounds quite like that. I think it came from behind me. Well, whatever it is, I'd rather take my chances with it than with these mindless monsters. Probably just the wind anyway. Yes, that's it, the wind. But just in case, I better run for it. Sure wish it were better lit down here." So, God, sewers are just, ugh. These people running through the sewers. And are sewers even like this? I don't know. This isn't Los Angeles, by the way. This is where this is taking place. I don't think I mentioned that in the beginning. So this is getting louder here. And he hears the footsteps, and so he thinks that something's behind him, but it's not. It's right in front of him. He's like, "I don't want to die," and then this werewolf creature is just right there. So Captain America is still fighting up these augmented failures here. So this stuff has taken place over the last two issues here. So we get a little bit of a recap. So now he hears the scream and he recognizes it as Dr. Malice. I love the screen tone being applied. And so Captain America says he's got to get away so he can go in there, and he takes advantage of the fact they weren't looking, and he dives into this germ-infested water. Ugh, yuck! Oh my goodness gracious, people! I'm getting so sick just even imagining this here. So he's swimming in sewage basically. So he comes up and he lands here with all these creatures here. He's like, great. And so he's basically surrounded by them. But then we got these things here. It says the night shift. So we got these weird superheroes that I have never seen before. So, all right. And so, I'm very corny. Do the monster mash. And so he wonders who they are. And so this is the first appearance of whoever these people are. So they're helping Captain America here. And so just kind of go by. I've never heard of them. I don't think they're past this thing. So Beanstalk is one of them, and looks like she's creating a beanstalk here. That is funny. So this looks like something that would be from the 50s and 60s. So Captain America is still hearing this, and he's going after them. He says something's growling like a dog, and realizes it's a werewolf of some type. And so it goes to Captain America, but he uses the shield, and then is able to kick him away. So, and then he sees these other things, and this is the shroud, which I have seen, and I think, and then of course we've got Dr. Malice, TikTok. That's funny. Um. Anyway, they said, "Stand back. I'll handle him." And he tells this guy, he must be this Frankenstein-looking Danson. He says, "See to the werewolf." So, um, the shroud engulfs Captain America in darkness, and so Captain America asks him, "What's the story here?" Um, of course, he can't see anything. He says, "Forgive the blackout, Captain. It's pretty soundproof, but I need to speak to you in private." And he says, "Man, how long has it been since we last spoke? I was in the hospital recovering from an overdose of the Red Skull's nerve gas. Remember what we talked about that day? How I figured I'd take a new approach to fighting crime? Once I got back on my feet, try to pass myself off as a criminal to destroy the underworld from within. Well, that's what I've been up to ever since. The unusual individuals in the night shift are all criminals who I persuaded to help me oppose other criminals. Most of them think we're in the business for ourselves rather than the public good." And so Captain America says, "What brings you down here?" Oh, and so this was in Supervillain Team Up 12. This stuff from up here. So, um, the LA sewers are our highway and byways. These mutates make transit hazardous. We've apprehended 29 of these poor brutes so far. What brings you? It's a long story, but if we can get that mousy scientist to talk, we may be able to prevent further dumpings of the mutates in the sewers. Getting someone to talk, no problem. And Captain America is like, "I will not permit undue force." And Shroud says, "The woman Danson Macabre employs something far more effective. Say, Captain, if we're going to be working together on this, you're going to have to go along with a little charade, so I don't lose my credibility with the troops." "Oh, what's that?" "First, you're going to have to let me appear to beat you in battle." And Captain America says, "And second, then I have to let Danson perform her devotion dance to bind your wills to hers. Look, you'll have to trust me on this. There's no way my gang will work with you otherwise. Don't worry, I'll see it doesn't. Danson's dance doesn't affect you." And so Captain America says, "Time was when I would have readily trusted him, but his association with criminals for so long, how can I be sure he's trustworthy? On the other hand, I may never find the answers I seek without him. What do you want me to do?" So we have Captain America kind of down, and he says, "It is done. I have beaten the vaunted Captain America. What did I tell you? This was the future I saw in 4 out of 6. Digger, help me with him. Danson, you know what to do. Get ready." He's starting to stare, and so she dances, and you can see here his eyes go white. And he says, "I can't see a thing. Something dark in front of my eyes. Must be the shroud's darkness. I had no idea he had such fine control of it. Looks like my trust in him was justified." So he's basically keeping him from being taken over by her. And so Danson says, "His will is ours." And the Shroud says, "Excellent, Danson. Captain, you are free to act as you always have, except you will obey Danson and my orders. First order is that you will never let harm befall any members of the night shift. If it is in your power to help. Understand?" He says, "Yes." Now, Danson, I have reason to believe that this character has something to do with the derelict problem. Bind him as well." And she says, "It is done. Who are you, and what do you know about these monsters in the sewers?" "My name is Carl Malice. Monsters are failed augments. Their bodies rejected the strength augmentation process. When we have no more space to house them, we dump them. That makes any sense to you, Captain?" "Yes, let me question him. Malice, Do you know where the where the power broker is? Yes. Can you take us to him? Yes. Should have asked him who he is. And so the shroud says, "We'll deliver the mutates to the Tower of Shadows first, then pay a call on this power broker. Let's move, people." And Captain America thinks to himself, "Can't say I'm very proud of myself. We may have gotten information out of Malice without force, but we had to deny him his free will to do so. One more thing on my conscience." Okay, let's. All right. I don't know if I would be feeling so bad or whatever. So anyway, and so it says here, sunrise is still 2 hours away when three hearses drive up to the gates of an estate somewhere in the San Fernando Valley. This belongs to the power broker, Malice? Yes. So this must be all these people here. "We'll park here, proceed on foot." And Captain America is yawning here. You can see that. "I've been out for the better part of 24 hours. Might have been nice to get some sleep before this raid, but then we'd lose the element of surprise." TikTok, what's the prognosis? 9 out of 10 frames, the guards will awaken in 10 seconds. Notice our card and sound the alarm. Grim 1, Needle, take out the guard. Gotcha, boss. Move, every second is critical. So, no problem, it'll be a snap. And so, Captain America asks, how'd he do that? He claims it's magic. 4 seconds left, and then so the guard wakes up, and they, dazzle him, I would say. So they open the gate, and here come the heroes. Captain America grabbing Malice here. And so it looks like this TikTok can see the future here. So, and so here comes some more of the security. So the night shift ends up taking care of them as Captain America and the Shroud go and continue here. So we're just kind of gonna keep moving on here. So, all right. So they reach that door, and they go inside here. So this guard here says, "They're in. Nab them before they wreck any of the boss's property." And the Shroud is like, "Heaven forbid." And so he uses his Shroud powers here. So takes out the security here. So we're in the clear. Which way, TikTok? "I don't know, sir. The man we're looking for is more than 10 seconds away in any direction I can see." So it looks like TikTok can only see 10 seconds ahead. "Wait, here. You must be quick. His bed." And so he goes through, and Captain America just breaks through the wall here. And so he's like, "No, not him." And he hits that alarm here. I love the slippers here. And so he's heading. His bed is sinking inside. So Captain America's gonna go after him, but unfortunately, these two are not able to make. And the Shroud says, "We're too late." And TikTok says, "I knew we would be." And he's like, "You're beginning to annoy me, Tick." He says, "Sorry." So Captain America is above here, and he goes, "The power broker, so we meet at last." And he's like, "What do you... Wait a minute, I recognize you. You're Curtis Jackson, formerly of the West Coast Corporation." And so it says here, it was a criminal cartel from issue 230, which I have not covered. "I want two things from you, Jackson. The first is the whereabouts of my friend, the Demolition Man." And he says, "You must mean Dennis Dunphy, the wrestler. Don't do anything rash. I'll take you to him, I promise." And Captain America's like, "What a setup. His own private subway. Amazing what these crime lords will waste their wealth on." And Captain America, you can see here, he's cautious, ready to kind of pounce here. He's got his arm out. I'd almost forgotten about you, Jackson. I assume you were behind bars for your numerous misdeeds. And he says, I have very good lawyers, Captain. You try anything foolish, and I hope you have equally good doctors, he says. So says, it's still a bit early. I doubt my staff is in yet. And Captain America thinks here, so far so good. His past experience with me has intimidated him into doing what I say. I hope once I can rescue D-Man, I can pump some real information out of him. And so the power broker says, this way. And he says, D-Man and some woman, what are you doing to them? And don't tell me you don't know. This is your private facility, not one of your commercial power labs. And he's like, in Chamber 1, we're trying to determine the maximum amount of augmentation a subject can withstand. In Chamber 2, we're trying to determine if the augmentation can be reversed. Jackson, you had better hope these people aren't harmed. So, release them both now. I can't do that, Captain. The truth this time. I don't know how to work. And so, he kind of knocks him down. It's probably best I don't let you handle the hardware anyway, Jackson. Now let's see if this should cut the radiation lamp. So he presses this. He walks in. He goes, Dennis. And Captain America says he's still grimacing in pain. Suddenly the door closes. And Captain America noticed that. Suddenly, boom, more stuff is being pumped into him. Captain America calls out to him. He notices something happened, causing him to blow. And so it's one of these people. I administered the stimulant to Subject D. The captain will not leave the room alive, I'd wager. Good thing we came down here here to hide when the alarm went off, Maggie. Stop patting yourself in the back and help revive Mr. Jackson. So now D-Man is going after poor Cap. He is all enraged, doesn't recognize him. So D-Man, of course, is now super strong. So just Captain America is no match for the guy. And you can see here he's just ripping through metal and everything, missing Cap. And so Captain America has to use his agility. This is a good pose. I like that. Very heroic. Again, some more screen tones being used here. And here, I love screen tones. Back in the old days, they had to do it manually here. Not like now with doing things digital. So D-Man's rushing after him, and he hits Cap really hard here. So Captain America says here, or thinks here, all I can do is conserve as much energy as I can, stay out of his way, and pray he either works the drug out of his system or collapses from exhaustion. And so he notices something's happening to D-Man here. Now he's convulsing. And D-Man, Dennis, it's Captain America. Do you understand? He says, hurts like a knife in it. And he's Captain America says it has to be his heart. He made him overexert. He's like, hard to breathe. He says, don't try to talk, Dennis. One more thing before I go, partner. How was I? And he says, you're the best, D-Man. And then he dies, or, closes his eyes. We know he's not dead. But Captain America is now going to try to revive him. And he's like, not letting you go. And so we get here next issue, the finale, Power Broken. So Captain America 330 by Mark Gruenwald, Tom Morgan, and some other inker. So like and subscribe, and I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.